Why do some companies break through and scale successfully, while others remain stuck, struggling to grow? Have you ever wondered why a handful of businesses seem to explode in growth, gaining traction, success, and influence, while many others, despite having great products or services, stay stagnant? It's frustrating, isn't it? You put in the hard work, follow the strategies, and yet the growth doesn't come as expected. The reality is, it's not just about working harder or hoping for good luck. It's about scaling effectively and building systems that support sustained growth. But here's the thing, scaling isn't easy, and it doesn't happen by accident. Verne Harnish's Scaling Up, How a Few Companies Make It, and Why the Rest Don't breaks down the very principles that separate the companies that succeed in scaling from those that don't. It's not about having more resources or a better product. It's about having the right systems, the right leadership, and the right mindset in place. In this video, I'll break down the key strategies that successful companies use to scale and how you can apply them to your own business to see real, lasting growth. Let's talk about a common problem that many businesses face: stagnation. How many of you have felt that your business is doing okay, but not quite reaching its full potential? The growth seems slow despite your best efforts. You've got a solid product or service, a team that works hard, and you're doing everything you can to make the business work, but the results aren't adding up. You see other companies taking off, expanding rapidly, and reaching new heights, and wonder what they're doing that you're not. The truth is, this isn't an uncommon struggle. Many businesses get stuck in what's called the growth trap. They might experience an initial phase of success, some positive momentum, but they hit a plateau because they're not equipped to handle the demands of scaling. This is where businesses often fall apart. They don't have the proper systems, strategies, or leadership in place to support the next stage of growth. And this isn't just about being stuck. It's about the frustration and confusion of not knowing what's missing or why the business isn't growing at the pace you expect. It can feel like you're running in circles, trying to push the business forward, but always encountering the same obstacles. This is where scaling comes into play. It's not about simply getting more customers or making more sales. Scaling is about creating the right conditions that allow your business to grow without your efforts being spread too thin or overburdened. The problem many businesses face is not that they lack the potential to scale, it's that they don't have the proper infrastructure or systems to do so. Many companies also struggle with something that's even more limiting: the mindset shift. It's easy to focus on getting through the day-to-day challenges. But what separates businesses that scale from those that stagnate is the ability to think beyond the current moment. You need to think about the future, about creating long-term sustainable growth that isn't dependent on your presence or micromanagement. This shift in mindset is one of the first steps towards scaling effectively. Here's Section 2, Key Principle Number 1, Introduction to the Author's Framework, approx. 1,200 to 1,500 words. Based on Scaling Up, How a Few Companies Make It, and Why the Rest Don't by Verne Harnish. Section 2. Key Principle Number 1. Introduction to the Author's Framework. Verne Harnish is a well-known entrepreneur, business coach, and author of Scaling Up, a book that offers actionable insights on how businesses can go from good to great. He's the founder of the Entrepreneurs Organization, EO, a global network of over 13,000 entrepreneurs who share the common goal of scaling their companies and achieving growth. Harnish's approach to business scaling has impacted thousands of companies around the world, helping them build sustainable and thriving operations. His teachings are rooted in his personal experiences and his observations of companies that have made significant leaps in their growth trajectory. In Scaling Up, Harnish outlines a framework for growing a business that addresses every area necessary for success: leadership, strategy, execution, and cash. These 4 pillars, according to Harnish, are essential to scaling a business in a way that ensures long-term sustainability. By focusing on these key areas, businesses can break free from stagnation, scale effectively, and build systems that support consistent growth. The first core principle Harnish introduces is the concept of focus. He argues that companies that are successful at scaling don't try to do everything. Instead, they focus on a few key strategies that can be executed well. This might sound simple, but in practice, it's incredibly powerful. Many companies fail to scale because they spread themselves too thin, chasing too many opportunities at once without focusing on what truly matters. Harnish's first key piece of advice is to focus on what he calls the one thing, the single most important thing that needs to happen for the business to grow. This might involve refining a product or service, reaching a new market, or improving operational efficiency. The key is to identify this focal point and relentlessly pursue it. Too often, companies get caught up in doing a little bit of everything, which leads to mediocre results across the board. By narrowing the focus and zeroing in on the most important growth drivers, companies can build momentum and achieve significant scaling. The importance of focus can't be overstated. In Harnish's experience, the most successful companies are those that are clear on their vision and strategy, and then execute on that vision with precision. This clarity of focus is something that many businesses struggle with, particularly as they begin to grow. In the early stages, the excitement of possibilities can lead to scattered efforts, but as businesses scale, it becomes more crucial than ever to streamline and prioritize. The one thing and the role of focus in scaling. So why is focus so important? Let's take a closer look. At its core, focus means making conscious decisions to ignore distractions and to dedicate your time and energy to what will create the most impact. For growing companies, this focus might look like doubling down on a single high-potential market, improving the customer experience in a way that differentiates them from competitors, or perfecting a key aspect of their product. This isn't just about being productive, it's about being strategically productive. Many businesses fail to scale because they try to be everything to everyone. They think the solution to growth is expanding their offerings or pushing into every possible market. But without focus, resources are spread thin, and growth becomes slow and erratic. Harnish's principle of focus urges leaders to ask the tough questions. What is the one thing that will move the needle for my business? What do we need to focus on right now to achieve the next phase of growth? Harnish's emphasis on focus extends beyond just the company's overall strategy. It also applies to how leaders manage their teams, how they allocate resources, and how they make decisions. When focus is the guiding principle, every decision becomes easier to make because the goals are clear and the strategy is aligned. For example, if a company has decided that its primary focus is improving customer retention, then every decision made, from product development to marketing strategies, should support that goal. This principle is especially important when scaling because it's easy to get distracted by opportunities that appear along the way. Scaling requires an intense level of discipline, and maintaining focus is a way to avoid the trap of chasing shiny objects. The best leaders know that scaling a business is a marathon, not a sprint, and that sustained growth requires long-term thinking. The Scaling Up Framework: Leadership, Strategy, Execution, and Cash. Harnish's framework for scaling, which encompasses leadership, strategy, execution, and cash, is built on the premise that successful scaling is not about a single magic bullet, but about aligning all areas of the business toward growth. These four areas are the pillars that allow companies to scale effectively, and they work in tandem to support sustainable growth. 1. Leadership. Leadership is crucial in every stage of business growth, but it becomes particularly important when scaling. As the company grows, so does the complexity of managing teams and aligning everyone with the company's vision. Harnish stresses that leaders must be able to inspire and motivate their teams, making sure that everyone is working towards the same goal. Leadership is about more than just making decisions. It's about creating an environment where the team is empowered to take ownership of their roles and contribute to the company's success. Second, strategy. Harnish's approach to strategy is rooted in clarity. It's about having a clear, actionable plan for where the company is heading. But strategy isn't just about setting goals. It's about creating a roadmap that everyone in the company can follow. Strategy ensures that the business is not just moving forward aimlessly, but in a direction that maximizes its strengths and opportunities. 3. Execution. Execution is often where many companies fall short. It's one thing to have a great strategy, but it's another to follow through and make that strategy a reality. Harnish stresses that companies must build systems and processes that allow them to execute on their plans consistently. Execution requires discipline, and it often means making tough decisions about where to allocate resources and how to prioritize initiatives. 4. Cash scaling requires cash flow. Without it, growth is impossible. Harnish highlights the importance of managing cash effectively, ensuring that the company has the financial resources to fund its expansion efforts. Whether through reinvestment, securing new funding, or optimizing cash flow, Harnish emphasizes that cash is the lifeblood of any scaling business. Together, these four pillars form the foundation for scaling a business. Leadership, strategy, execution, and cash all need to work in harmony with a clear focus on long-term success. Scaling up is not about finding shortcuts or rushing through the process. It's about building systems and strategies that allow the company to grow consistently and sustainably over time. Why this principle matters for scaling. So why is focus the first key principle in Harnish's framework? It's because without focus, the company will lack the direction necessary to make meaningful progress. Focus is the foundation that supports all other decisions in the scaling process. It helps leaders prioritize what matters most and ensures that everyone in the company is aligned toward the same goal. Without focus, businesses risk being distracted by every opportunity that comes their way, ultimately leading to confusion, inefficiency, and stalled growth. Scaling isn't easy, and it certainly isn't fast. It takes time, discipline, and consistent effort. But the companies that do succeed in scaling are the ones that embrace focus, avoid the temptation of doing too much, and stay committed to their vision. By applying Harnish's first principle, focus, companies can lay the groundwork for sustainable, long-term growth and avoid the mistakes that so many others make when trying to scale too quickly or without a clear plan. To wrap up, focusing on what matters most is the first and most important step to scaling. It's not about doing more, but doing the right things and doing them well. Whether you're an entrepreneur looking to grow your business or a leader trying to take your company to the next level, the principle of focus will help you align your efforts and ensure that you're making progress toward your goals. The journey to scaling up can be challenging, but it's also incredibly rewarding. With the right focus, the right leadership, and the right strategies, you'll have the foundation necessary to grow and scale your business successfully. Start by defining your one thing, and let that clarity drive everything you do from here on out. Here's section 3. Key principle number 2. The framework in action, approx. 1,200 words, based on Scaling Up, How a Few Companies Make It, and Why the Rest Don't by Verne Harnish. Section 3. Key principle number 2. The framework in action. As we move into the second key principle from Verne Harnish's Scaling Up, we focus on the importance of execution. It's one thing to have a vision or a plan, but it's quite another to actually put that plan into action. Harnish stresses that ideas, no matter how brilliant, are worthless without execution. It's not about coming up with groundbreaking ideas. It's about transforming existing ideas into scalable systems and getting those systems to work for you. This principle is a game changer and the key to scaling your business. Actionable steps to effective execution. Harnish introduces the concept of execution as the driving force behind every successful scaling effort. Simply put, execution is the ability to turn plans into results. Here's a breakdown of how to execute effectively based on Harnish's framework. 1. Create a clear and actionable plan. The first step to execution is having a clear, actionable plan. Harnish advises that every business should have a one-page strategic plan. This document should outline the company's mission, vision, values, goals, and most importantly, the actionable steps that will guide the company toward growth. Having a detailed, easy-to-follow plan ensures that everyone in the company is aligned with the same objectives and knows what needs to be done. O-tip: make sure this plan is visible to everyone in the company, not just the leadership team. This will help your employees understand the company's direction and how their roles fit into the overall strategy. 2. Prioritize your actions. One of the biggest challenges in execution is figuring out what to focus on. Harnish suggests that you use a framework like the Rockefeller habits to prioritize what truly matters. The Rockefeller habits are a set of practices designed to help you focus on the most important actions that will move the needle for your business. Tip: prioritize actions that lead to measurable results and align them with the goals you've set in your strategic plan. For example, if your goal is to increase sales, your focus should be on actions that drive revenue, such as improving your sales funnel, refining your marketing strategies, or training your sales team. 3. Implement key performance indicators, KPIs. To execute effectively, you need to track progress. Harnish emphasizes the importance of KPIs, key performance indicators. These are the measurable metrics that show you how well you're performing and where you need to adjust. For example, KPIs could include customer acquisition costs, sales revenue, churn rates, or employee productivity. Tip: establish KPIs for every major function of your business. Don't just focus on financial metrics. Look at KPIs for customer satisfaction, employee engagement, and operational efficiency as well. 4. Focus on people and processes. Execution is about more than just individual effort. It's about getting the right people in place and ensuring the right processes are followed. Harnish recommends using a tool called the People Analyzer to assess whether your team members are aligned with your company's core values and whether they're a good fit for the roles they are in. Additionally, every process should be designed with scalability in mind, meaning the process should work even as your company grows. Tip: regularly evaluate your team and their effectiveness, and continuously improve processes to reduce inefficiencies. For example, if you have a customer service process, evaluate whether it can handle a larger volume of inquiries as your company grows. Can you automate parts of the process? Can it be streamlined to ensure faster response times? 5. Commit to constant improvement. Execution is an ongoing process. Harnish suggests that businesses should embrace a Kaizen mindset, a philosophy of continuous improvement. Whether it's improving processes, systems, or products, businesses that scale are those that don't settle for good enough. They constantly look for ways to innovate, refine, and adapt. Tip: implement regular feedback loops in your organization. This can be done through customer surveys, employee feedback, or quarterly business reviews. Ask yourself, how can we do this better? What improvements can we make? Using real-world examples to drive home the concept. Let's take a real-world example to see how this plays out in practice. Imagine you're the owner of a small e-commerce business that sells skincare products. You've been doing well, but you're struggling to scale because you're handling most of the tasks yourself. You've got a great product, a loyal customer base, but your business is plateauing. You're not sure what's missing, but you know you need to scale. The first thing Harnish would advise is for you to create a one-page strategic plan. You map out your mission to provide high-quality organic skincare products that promote health and wellness. You set a vision for the next 12 months. Double our sales and improve customer retention by 25%. Then you lay out your actionable steps. Improve website conversion rates, expand your product line, and implement a customer referral program. Now, with this plan in place, you focus on prioritizing actions. The most important things that will move the needle are improving the website experience to boost conversions and launching the referral program to acquire new customers. You assign the team to handle specific tasks, like optimizing the user experience and crafting a compelling referral offer. You also set up KPIs, monitor sales revenue, customer retention rates, and customer acquisition costs. You can then track these KPIs on a regular basis to ensure you're hitting your targets and adjusting as necessary. To make sure you have the right people and processes in place, you might hire a marketing manager who is an expert in digital advertising and analytics. You may also refine your order fulfillment process so that you can handle more customers without increasing overhead costs. Lastly, you adopt the Kaizen mindset by continuously improving your processes. Perhaps you find that customer retention is lower than expected, so you experiment with loyalty programs, better customer service, or personalized email campaigns to keep customers engaged. The power of leverage, automation, and scalable systems. Now let's talk about automation. Once you've got your strategy in place and your business is beginning to scale, it's time to look at leverage, the ability to get more output from less input. One way to do this is through automation. Think about how you could automate a service or a product that solves a real-world problem. Imagine creating software that helps thousands of people and then generating income from it even when you're on vacation. That's the power of leverage. For example, if you're running an online store, you could automate the process of email marketing, inventory management, and customer communication. This allows your business to function smoothly with minimal manual intervention. Another example, if you're providing a consulting service, you could create an online course that teaches your expertise, which can be sold repeatedly without additional effort. This way, you can generate income from your knowledge without trading time for money. Leverage means creating systems that work for you, systems that allow you to scale your efforts without exponentially increasing your workload. The best businesses in the world use leverage effectively, and it's something every entrepreneur should aim for. Execution is the key to scaling. It's not enough to have a great product or idea. You must act. You must build systems, set clear goals, measure progress with KPIs, and focus on continuous improvement. Scaling up isn't about doing everything. It's about doing the right things over and over again and setting up systems that allow you to multiply your efforts without losing quality or efficiency. Harnish's second key principle of execution is essential for companies that want to scale. The businesses that succeed are those that prioritize execution, refine their strategies continuously, and leverage systems to make their operations more efficient and effective. By following these actionable steps, you can begin executing on your growth strategy, break through the barriers holding you back, and start scaling your business to new heights. Section 4. Key principle number 3. Overcoming common obstacles. Addressing the fears and misconceptions. Scaling a business isn't without its challenges. No matter how well you plan or how much ambition you have, the road to growth is filled with obstacles. For many entrepreneurs and business leaders, the most significant hurdles aren't external. They're internal. Fear, doubt, and misconceptions can prevent us from taking the necessary steps to move our businesses forward. In Scaling Up, Verne Harnish highlights some of these very obstacles, and understanding them is the first step toward overcoming them. One of the most common obstacles people face when scaling their business is the fear of failure. The idea of investing time, money, and energy into something that might not work is terrifying. For many, failure represents more than just a setback. It represents the end of the journey. The truth, however, is that failure is a crucial part of the process. It's something that we all face on the path to success. Whether you're launching a new product, entering a new market, or scaling your operations, the chance of failure is always there. But here's the important thing. Failure isn't final. It's a learning opportunity. In fact, some of the most successful businesses in the world, from Apple to Amazon, failed numerous times before reaching the heights of success we know today. Failure isn't something to fear. It's something to embrace. The key is to fail fast, fail cheaply, and learn from those failures so you can improve and move forward. Another common fear is imposter syndrome. As businesses grow and leaders take on bigger roles, it's natural to question whether you're qualified or capable enough to lead at this level. You might think, who am I to run a company of this size? Or, what if I'm not the right person to take this business to the next stage? This fear can be paralyzing, preventing leaders from making decisions or moving forward with their plans. But the truth is, you don't have to have all the answers to be successful. No one does. The best leaders are the ones who admit they don't have all the answers, but are willing to surround themselves with the right people, learn as they go, and continuously improve. They focus on building a great team, and together they work toward a common vision. Imposter syndrome is a sign that you're stepping outside your comfort zone, and that's where growth happens. Lastly, one of the biggest misconceptions that hold people back from scaling is the belief that you need to have everything perfect from the start. Many entrepreneurs wait for the perfect moment or for all the pieces to fall into place before taking action. This perfectionist mindset is often the enemy of progress. Scaling isn't about perfection. It's about taking action, learning from your mistakes, and adapting along the way. If you wait for everything to be perfect, you'll never take that first step. providing solutions and reassurance. Now that we've addressed some of the most common fears and misconceptions, let's talk about how to overcome them. The first step in overcoming any obstacle is to take action. It's easy to get caught up in analysis paralysis, overthinking every decision and worrying about all the things that could go wrong. But the key to scaling successfully is to take imperfect action. Start where you are. It doesn't matter if you don't have all the answers or if you're not sure about the outcome. Just begin. Scaling requires a series of small, consistent steps that accumulate over time. The idea that you need to know everything right from the start is a myth. No one starts with all the answers. Instead, focus on making progress, learning from your mistakes, and refining your approach along the way. Failure is not the end of the road. It's part of the journey. Each failure is an opportunity to learn and improve. If your product or marketing strategy doesn't work, take the time to assess what went wrong, make adjustments, and try again. The businesses that scale successfully are the ones that fail often and learn quickly. They don't dwell on mistakes. They use them as stepping stones toward success. To combat imposter syndrome, one of the best things you can do is surround yourself with a strong team. No one achieves success alone, and a great team can help fill in the gaps in your knowledge and skills. You don't need to be the expert in every area of your business. What matters is that you bring in people who are smarter than you in certain areas and can help move the business forward. Leaders should delegate and empower their teams to take ownership of projects. This not only frees you up to focus on the big picture, but it also gives your team the opportunity to shine. By surrounding yourself with talented people and creating a culture of collaboration, you'll feel less pressure to have all the answers yourself. Instead, you'll be able to focus on leading the company and setting the strategic direction. Another important point to keep in mind is that you don't have to do everything yourself. Scaling a business requires building systems that allow you to leverage your time and efforts. You don't need to be involved in every decision or action. Instead, focus on building processes that allow the business to run efficiently with minimal oversight. Automate where you can, delegate where you can, and trust your team to handle the day-to-day operations. Lastly, when it comes to perfectionism and the belief that everything needs to be just right before taking action, it's crucial to adopt a learn-as-you-go mentality. It's easy to think that you need to have everything figured out, but the reality is that scaling is a dynamic process. What works today might not work tomorrow, and that's okay. The business world is constantly changing, and being adaptable is one of the most important qualities you can have as a leader. If you're too focused on perfection, you'll miss out on opportunities to move forward. Instead, take small steps, learn from feedback, and adjust as you go. Focus on progress over perfection. Each small improvement will compound over time, and before you know it, you'll have built a sustainable, scalable business that can weather any storm. Overcoming the fear of failure. Let's circle back to the fear of failure. It's one of the most common obstacles that prevent entrepreneurs from scaling their businesses. But as we've already discussed, failure is part of the process. It's not a reflection of your worth or ability. It's simply a result of trying something new and pushing boundaries. In fact, the fear of failure often holds you back from taking risks, and risks are an essential part of scaling. The most successful businesses take calculated risks. They invest in innovation, try new strategies, and put themselves out there. Without taking risks, there's no room for growth. You may stumble along the way, but you'll always have the opportunity to get back up, learn, and improve. If you're afraid of failing, start by reframing your mindset. Instead of viewing failure as something negative, start seeing it as an opportunity for growth. Each failure teaches you something valuable that you can apply to your next attempt. The most successful entrepreneurs fail constantly, but they don't let those failures define them. They learn, adapt, and keep moving forward. Actionable steps for overcoming obstacles. Take imperfect action. You don't need to have everything perfect before you start. Just begin, learn from your mistakes, and adjust your approach along the way. Embrace failure as a learning opportunity. View failure as part of the journey. Learn from your mistakes and use them as stepping stones toward success. Surround yourself with the right people. Build a strong, supportive team that can help you fill in the gaps and execute the vision you have for your business. Delegate and empower your team. Trust your team to handle tasks so you can focus on strategic decision-making and growing the business. Adopt a learn-as-you-go mentality. Don't wait for everything to be perfect. Focus on making progress and improving as you scale. Overcoming obstacles is part of the journey to scaling up your business. Fear, doubt, and misconceptions can all hold you back. But with the right mindset and consistent action, you can push past these challenges and build a scalable business. Don't let fear or the desire for perfection stop you from taking action. Start where you are, learn as you go, and take that first step toward building something great. Scaling up is not about avoiding failure. It's about embracing it and using it to fuel your growth. It's about surrounding yourself with the right people, creating the right systems, and maintaining the focus to stay on track. By overcoming these common obstacles and staying committed to the process, you'll be on your way to building a business that can not only scale, but thrive. Section 5. Key principle number 4. Long-term wealth building. The importance of consistency. When it comes to building wealth, the temptation to seek rapid, short-term gains can be strong. We live in a world that often celebrates quick wins, the overnight success stories, the fast-track businesses that hit it big. But while these stories are appealing, they rarely represent the norm. The truth is, building sustainable wealth takes time, effort, and most importantly, consistency. Verne Harnish emphasizes that the real key to scaling a business and achieving lasting financial success is long-term sustainability. Rapid wealth is indeed possible, but it's not a shortcut. It's not about getting lucky or waiting for a breakthrough that will propel you to instant success. True wealth is built over time by creating systems that continuously generate income, even when you're not actively working. Let's break this down. Consistency doesn't just refer to showing up every day or putting in long hours. It's about focusing on what works, doubling down on it, and improving it steadily. Think of it like compounding interest. The power of compounding comes from a consistent, incremental approach, not from huge one-time gains. Similarly, the wealth-building process works best when you're consistently improving your business model, your operations, and your investments. For example, businesses that scale successfully tend to do so because they build systems that can continue to grow and evolve without constant intervention. Whether it's automating processes, streamlining operations, or optimizing sales funnels, these systems ensure that even as you step back or expand, the business doesn't lose momentum. The key isn't working harder, but working smarter and creating systems that replicate success consistently. The fast lane isn't a shortcut. This concept of consistency and long-term wealth building runs counter to the notion of the fast lane being an immediate shortcut to wealth. The reality of the fast lane approach is not about chasing fast money or jumping from one business opportunity to the next. Instead, it's about building scalable systems that work over the long haul. Scaling up a business involves making decisions that prioritize the future, not just immediate returns. This could mean investing in infrastructure, training your team, or continuously optimizing the customer experience. These steps might not give you immediate returns, but they position you for future success. Building something lasting and successful requires ongoing, consistent effort, and that means thinking beyond just the next few months or even years. You're thinking about building a business that can thrive in a constantly evolving market. One of the traps many entrepreneurs fall into when scaling is chasing after quick fixes, new trends, new products, or the latest marketing strategies. These might yield short-term success, but they often leave businesses fragile and dependent on constant reinvention. Consistency is about staying focused on what works and optimizing it over time, rather than jumping to the next thing because it seems easier or more glamorous. The success comes when you stay the course, make small but consistent improvements, and build a foundation that can weather changes and disruptions. Tips for sustainability. Building wealth and ensuring that it grows sustainably over time requires a disciplined approach. Here are some critical strategies that will help ensure your success is not only achieved but maintained over the long term. 1. Reinvest profits for growth. The quickest way to stagnate a business is to treat profits like disposable income. Reinvesting profits back into the business is essential for growth. Whether it's expanding your product offerings, entering new markets, or scaling up your marketing efforts, reinvestment is key. This ensures that your business continues to grow rather than plateauing. But reinvestment is not just about pouring money back into the business for more products or services. It's about improving your systems, optimizing processes, and investing in people. A great leader knows when and where to allocate resources for long-term growth, whether that's upgrading technology, hiring top talent, or improving customer service. For example, if you're a tech company, reinvesting profits could mean investing in R&D to ensure your product stays competitive. If you run a retail business, reinvesting might look like improving your e-commerce platform or expanding your inventory management system. The focus is on building a business that is better and more efficient over time. 2. Diversify income sources. The old adage, "Don't put all your eggs in one basket," is crucial when scaling up your business. Relying too heavily on one revenue stream can be risky, especially in volatile markets. Diversifying your income sources allows you to reduce risk and ensure stability. It could involve offering new products or services, entering new markets, or creating passive income streams. Take Amazon as an example. What started as an online bookstore has now become a diversified giant, with revenue streams in cloud computing, AWS, entertainment, Prime Video, retail, and more. By diversifying income sources, Amazon has ensured its business remains resilient to changes in anyone's sector. Tip: look at your business and ask yourself, how can I diversify? If you're in e-commerce, maybe it's offering subscription-based services. If you're in consulting, maybe it's creating a series of online courses or publishing ebooks. Diversifying doesn't mean doing everything, but it does mean ensuring that you aren't overly reliant on one source of income. 3. Continually learn and evolve. The business world is constantly changing, and businesses that succeed over time are those that don't rest on their laurels. Continual learning is essential for staying ahead of the curve. This means keeping an eye on trends, staying up to date with industry developments, and continually refining your business strategies. Successful business leaders are also lifelong learners. They're always looking for ways to improve themselves, their businesses, and their teams. Whether it's attending conferences, reading industry-related books, or listening to podcasts, ongoing education and adaptation are key to long-term success. For instance, in the world of digital marketing, platforms and algorithms are always evolving. A marketing strategy that works today might not work tomorrow, which is why learning and adapting is so important. The same applies to every aspect of business, from customer experience to financial management. Never assume you know everything. Always be open to evolving. 4. Manage cash flow. Wisely, cash flow is the lifeblood of any business, and it's particularly important when scaling. A great idea and great execution won't matter if you don't have the cash to fund your growth. To scale sustainably, you must prioritize cash flow management, ensuring that your business can handle unexpected expenses, pay employees, and reinvest in its growth. One of the keys to managing cash flow wisely is forecasting, predicting future revenue and expenses so you can plan for the future. Successful business leaders don't just react to cash flow, they anticipate it and make proactive decisions to ensure they always have enough capital on hand to fund their scaling efforts. For example, if you're scaling a manufacturing business, you might need to account for increased production costs, supply chain fluctuations, or new inventory needs. Anticipating these costs and planning for them ensures you won't find yourself in a cash crunch when you need funds the most. 5. Stay customer-centric. Even as you scale, never lose sight of your customers. Businesses that scale successfully maintain strong customer relationships and stay focused on providing value. The customer is at the heart of every decision you make, and customer loyalty is one of the strongest foundations for long-term success. Companies that focus on customer satisfaction and build systems around delivering value consistently create a strong base of loyal customers who will continue to support them as they grow. One of the best ways to sustain long-term success is by understanding customer needs and adapting your products, services, and systems to meet those needs more effectively. For example, look at companies like Zappos, who have scaled not just by offering great products, but by building a reputation for outstanding customer service. Their commitment to customer satisfaction has allowed them to grow sustainably over time. By staying customer-centric, they've built a loyal customer base that keeps coming back, which is crucial for scaling. Building for the long term. The journey to scaling up is not a sprint, but a marathon. It requires constant attention, but it's the long-term strategies that ensure sustainability. The key to successful scaling lies not in seeking rapid, short-term wins, but in building systems that work consistently over time. To build wealth that lasts, you must be committed to continual learning, consistent reinvestment, diversification, and a customer-first approach. Every decision you make should be geared toward creating a business that is sustainable and resilient, one that can continue to thrive no matter what challenges come your way. Conclusion: to truly unlock the potential of your business and wealth, the power lies in your hands. The journey to scaling your business and achieving long-term success isn't reserved for the lucky few. It's a path anyone can take as long as they're willing to commit to the process. The choice is yours. You can continue down the slow lane, waiting for the right moment, hoping things will eventually improve on their own. Or you can decide to take action, make intentional decisions, and start building a legacy of wealth and success. Every step you take now will shape the future of your business. It's time to stop holding back and start making progress. The road to success requires courage, persistence, and the willingness to embrace the challenges that come your way. But remember, every business that scaled successfully didn't get there by accident. They followed a path, took action, learned from their mistakes, and kept going. You can do the same. The power to take control of your financial future is in your hands. Start today. Focus on the long term, execute with precision, and make adjustments as needed. I want to hear from you. Which of these principles are you going to apply to your business today? Are you ready to start scaling, overcoming obstacles, and building the wealth you've always dreamed of? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe for more insights on how to accelerate your journey toward business success and financial freedom. Share this video with anyone who could benefit from these strategies and join the conversation. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more content that will help you grow, scale, and thrive. If you're ready to keep learning and advancing your business, make sure you hit that notification bell so you won't miss our next video. We're just getting started on this journey together, and there's a lot more to come.